Good evening, my friends. Today's little video is coming from my bedroom, my sick bed. Yes, I got struck down almost without warning, just after I'd made my last video. I say almost without warning because what I think happened was when I was shivering the other morning, and hang on, I'm just checking if it's recording still. Yeah, when I was shivering and I got into the really hot shower, I think the shivering was a sign of about what was about to happen to me. It knocked me for six. I don't know what it was or is. I'm still suffering from it. It's like a flu, but I don't think I get flu. My head felt like it had been run over by a truck. And my whole body ached, especially my back. I couldn't sit properly. I had to lie down, and I'd actually spent almost all of the last couple of days in bed. I got up, for a couple of hours and sat down, but it was too painful sitting down anyway. But I'm feeling better. I don't know what it was. I was freezing cold. I couldn't get warm, which wasn't anything to do with the outside ambient temperature being below freezing, because I had the fire going. Jodie and Tricia and everyone kept me supplied with firewood, and it was nice and cozy in here. And then now, right at this minute now, I'm too hot. Whether I'll keep on being too hot, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Anyway, it knocked me down, which I don't like. Anyway, I thought, what could I do to entertain you, apart from lying in bed with my Del Boy pyjamas on. I bought these pyjamas because my son likes Del Boy, and we were staying in a hotel and he insisted I have pyjamas, so I bought these. Yeah, so I thought I'd tell you this little story. It's from childhood, another one from childhood. I don't think I dwell on my childhood all the time. I don't. It's just things that, well, I wrote this quite a while ago, actually, before all the kerfuffle about the, at least I think I wrote it before all the kerfuffle about the children's home that I was in being a nonce's playground. But anyway, so this little story was written quite a while ago, and please don't think I dwell on my unhappy childhood, because I don't. I'm perfectly happy at the moment, and I don't dwell on it. In fact, I think it was my childhood gave me a good grounding in surviving the mean streets, and being institutionalized, of course, was very handy when one found oneself in all sorts of institutions as one grew older. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, this is a little story called Remembering Fergie. His given name was Robert Ferguson. I knew him as Fergie, and his friends all called him Barney. I don't know why. My mother, who knew him more intimately than most, if you get my drift, very often referred to him as that drunken bastard, or that drunken bastard. She meant it too on occasions, but there was something between them, something that kept them tied to each other through thick and thin. Even though my mum married many times, 5 times actually she got married, Fergie was always there in the background. Carry on, eh? And I think this modern generation are bad. I'm adding bits, I'm ad-libbing as I go along, improvisation. The first time I met Fergie was when I was about 4 or 5 years old. So it would have been the early 1950s. Blimey. That's a long, long time ago, isn't it? At that time, I was a resident of Shirley Residential Children's Home just outside Croydon in Surrey. Later, the place was renamed Shirley Oaks because it had loads of oak trees in it, I suppose. Oh, they had great imaginations in those days. Yeah, anyway, Mum introduced him to me on one of her rare and becoming increasingly more rare visits. Even though I was very young, I can remember the meeting very clearly. Fergie was a big man. He had a sagging lower lip, which had the ability to retain a soggy roll-up cigarette. I put fag here, but some of you might not know what a fag is, or you might get the wrong idea. Roll-up cigarette without any help from his upper lip. Yeah, he could retain a soggy roll-up cigarette without any help at all from his upper lip. It just used to stick to his saggy bottom lip. His nose was enormous and flattened across his face. Looking back on that meeting now, I think that he must have known me before, because he scooped me up in his arms, hugged me, and planted a wet kiss on my cheek. He had a few days' growth of bristle, and it was unpleasantly sharp on my face. In subsequent meetings over the years, I never remember him being clean-shaven. Today, I suppose it would be fashionable and called designer stubble, but Fergie's face was far too marked by life and excess to be fashionable. He smelled strongly of alcohol and tobacco. It was a smell I was to become familiar with over the years, and something which I cannot remember as being unpleasant at all. Rather the reverse, in fact. The rest of that first meeting with him was spent with me shyly peeking out from behind my mother's coat. He had 3 fingers missing from his right hand, a sawmill accident, and a very big gold earring in his left earlobe. Up until then, I'd thought that only villains in Enid Blyton storybooks had earrings, so my observations of this big man were somewhat tinged with fear. Later, I learned that Fergie was a man to be wary of, but not by me or anyone that he loved. Mum and Fergie vanished from my life for several years after that, and I was an unhappy child for a lot of the time. I suppose the authorities did their best for me. I remember different foster parents and foster aunts and uncles. I suppose I must have been happy sometimes, but you know, a child needs a mother, no matter how feckless she might be. I remember longing for her return. She appeared back into my life. Excuse She appeared back into my life as suddenly and as unexpectedly as she had left it. I was 12 years old and living with foster parents in London at that time. I hadn't seen her for 6 or 7 years, and there she was. Not quite the beautiful princess of my imagination, but there she was, my beautiful, sweet-faced mum. Everything happened very fast then. My clothes were flung into a suitcase. I hardly had time to say goodbye. It was into the waiting black taxi, and off we went. So there I was at Victoria Station, on board the famous Flying Scotsman, on my way to a new and hopefully happier life. It is difficult to describe my emotions on that momentous day, but have a try at imagining yourself as a child, thinking yourself abandoned forever. Then all of a sudden, there you are, back in the arms of your mother. I can tell you I was bewildered. I remember it. I was very bewildered, but happy. This was a time when I properly got to know Fergie, trawlerman, lumberjack, saw doctor, and cook. Fergie the fighter, the binge drinker, the bad man and the good man. Often down and out, but always there for me when I had nowhere else to go, and that was quite often. Fergie's gone now. He's been dead for many years. But honestly, hardly a day goes by when I don't think of him. That's that little story. Sorry about the coughing. I wanted to show you this. Any of you guys live in California? This, let's see if I can get it in focus. This is Bill Baloo. Sorry. I hope you don't catch this. Don't breathe in. The Bill Baloo 1333 number Sweetser Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 969. And it's a receipt to Elvis Presley for designer's fee and 10 custom shirts and 7 belts with tread and nail head embroidery. Total due $7,600. Thank you. That's November the 5th, 1974. And there it was paid. Got at the bottom of it, paid. I don't know, is that a paid check? Check number. And it was paid 12/9/74. Hang on, it was November is the 11th month, isn't it? So I don't get that bit. Anyway, that's it. It's a receipt that George found in a box of stuff he bought at an auction. I mean, if it's genuine, it might be worth a few bob. I'm just having a bit of trouble working out the date there. It says 12/9/74 paid. And yet this is... Oh, hang on, they put it the other way round, don't they? Oh, yes, yeah, they put the month... In America, they put the month in the wrong place. Sorry about that, Americans. You probably think it's in the right place, but we do it the other way round. Yeah, so he paid it quite quickly. Anyway, I hope you're all feeling all right. Don't know what's come over me. Do you know it's the first time I've been ill since... Well, quite a while. Since I had a cold or a flu thing in 2017. Since then, I've had nothing. Even during the so-called pandemic, I had nothing. But this last few days has made up for that. Anyway, I thought I'd just pop in and say hello. Makes a nice little video, doesn't it? A bit different. So, what else can I show you? Nothing. I've got me water. And I'm going to now sit here like this and watch a film. Probably a crap film on my phone. Thanks for looking in, everyone. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.